Hi everyone. So here is a quick rundown on how to get started on Flipgrid. So the first thing you want to do is visit flipgrid.com. Now, personally, I think the easiest way to access Flipgrid initially is going to be on a computer or a Chromebook. The iPad does have an app, but it works really well for students or those who are responding to a Flipgrid, not so much setting it up. So I would definitely suggest using your teacher computer when you start. So I visit flipgrid.com. And up here in the top right-hand corner is an educator login button. If you haven't logged in before, you'll want to click on sign up. It's free. And then select sign up with Google. It's going to be the easiest way for you as a teacher. Now, for students, they don't need to sign up. We'll get into the flip codes in a second, but students don't need to do a sign up at all. So it's just the teacher. Use your Google account, which is your teacher email and password, just like normal. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to log in real quick. So I go into my educator login. And even though, mine just goes straight through, I click on the login with Google and then it just takes me to my grid. Now, if you're just starting, you won't have any grids. I've obviously used Flipgrid before, but the first thing you want to do is set up a grid. Now, the way Flipgrid is set up, let's give you a little bit of a visual here. So the way Flipgrid is set up is that you're going to want a grid. So a grid is your overall space. So this could be your class name. So 5G, or this could be a unit, whatever you want to call that grid, but it's kind of going to be your overarching. So from your grid, you are going to have multiple topics. So topic 1, topic 2, and topic 3. And then within those topics, that's actually going to be your question. And then tell me about a character. You kind of get it. And then within these topics, students are then going to be responding. So responses underneath each topic. And all of those responses are going to be video based. So there really isn't any text. Now, Flipgrid is coming out with some really cool new things starting August 1st of this year. So we will release another video kind of outlining that for you guys. So hopefully that visual was a little helpful. So when you're first starting, you want to click on New Grid. Now you want to pick your community type. This is going to be really important. If you are a middle school or high school teacher, I would definitely suggest school emails. Even if you're a 4th or 5th grade teacher and you're using things like your Google sign-in, where your students understand that they have a school email and a password, this is going to be your best bet is your school email option. If you are a younger grade, I would say 3rd and under, where your students are still learning their IDs, they don't understand the username and password thing just yet, you can make a class list with student IDs. And you could use their actual student ID. You could use first initial, last name. You obviously don't want to do their full name. But this will be basically you're giving Flipgrid the name of the student and what that password is. Now, if you're going to be doing a public grid, meaning you don't care about the login and you actually want people outside of your classroom or outside of SD 129 to be responding, I would pick a PLC or public grid. So this is one that's open to the world. It totally depends on what you want. I have a feeling most of you are going to pick either school email or school ID. I'm going to start with school email. I'm going to start with school ID to give you an idea of how to give that list. You're going to give your grid. And then you can create your flip code. Now, the flip code is given to you as a random set of letters and numbers, but you can also change it to 5G Hall. And that tells you if it's available or not. So then you would pick next. And then if you were doing the student IDs, you could either add a student here, type that in, or you can upload it using their template, which is an Excel sheet. So when I click download, I open this up. And it's found here in student templates. You'll have to extract it. And so you would type it in and then upload it. If you need some help on that, please contact one of your coaches, and we'd be happy to go through how to do that CSV upload for you. So let's go back to school email. And then when you do school email, it's going to ask what the email address should be ending in. For us, it's going to be sd129.org. Every single student has an email from preschool on up, and it's going to say, please add sd129.org. Then when I'm done, I launch my grid. So depending on how you've set it up, I get my grid ready. And then I click on all set. Now my grid is done. It automatically gives me two grids, an ideas grid, which is hidden, meaning students don't see it unless you want to turn it on, and an introduction grid. I typically turn this off, or I would delete it because they know each other. They don't need to be introducing themselves online. But you could use it as an introduction to Flipgrid on how to use it. It's just a preset grid for you. For now, I'm going to delete that. Now, what if I want to make my own topic? So like I said, my grid is my overall holding space. So my new topic is going to be the characters. I give myself a title. You can do an optional topic tip. I typically don't, but that's up to you. And then you've got your video response time. Now you can go as short as 15 seconds or as long as 5 minutes. I would highly suggest not to go to 5 minutes because when you do the math, 5 minutes times 30 students is a lot of time. The sweet spot personally is around a minute and a half. The students don't have to take that minute and a half, but they might. So if you want to cut them off and have them be succinct, a minute, 30 seconds, 45 seconds. We're going to pick a minute for this one. The topic display date means the date that the students can see that topic. You can pick it now, or you can pick a date in the future if you're kind of pre-planning. And then here's where I put my question. Sorry, ELA teachers, I'm not sure if that question would actually apply, but that's what came to my head. Describe the characters in the Three Little Pigs and compare them to the characters in Cinderella. Now you get your privacy, and here's where you can get really customized here. Video moderation means that students who have access to the Flipgrid would not be able to see other students' Flipgrid responses until you actively turn them on or you moderate them. This is a great way to have a Flipgrid where it's a one-on-one teacher to student, so the teacher is the only one that sees that Flipgrid video, and the other students don't. Or if you think that you need that moderation, that you want to see the video before you release it to other students, you would turn this on by clicking on that radius. The topic status, I keep it updated, active. If I want to freeze it, that means students can see the Flipgrid, meaning they've already responded to it, but they can't respond to it any longer. So if you want them to have access to the content, but not so much be able to respond to it, you would freeze it. Hidden means they can't see it at all. You can get even fancier and do a launch date, meaning that it's only open from this window to that window. So you can decide on that. Now, your topic resources, this is a great way to really customize your grid. I often record a video of myself explaining what I want the students to do, so that way they have the written piece, which is up here in the description question, but they can also listen to a video from me, which a lot of students have said is very helpful. Now, if you've already recorded that video, you can just upload the video. You can also link something from YouTube if that's going to be a resource that would connect to the question you have, an image. You can also add a GIF or emoji as well. What's also nice is if you have an attachment, especially for our older students or secondary, high school, maybe even upper middle, if you've got an actual document that your students are working on that you want to share, then you can actually attach it here, which is really nice. The URL, especially if it's a Google Doc, just type the URL in and they have access to it. And then you've got some video features. You've got stickers and drawings, which the kids love at the end. Video reactions, video views. You can show how many times that video has been viewed. You can allow an external link, meaning they can add in their own document. student to student replies, or video title. You have access to all of this and you can change or remove all of these features. I like to start off keeping them on and then turning them off if needed for management purposes. And you can even use this for feedback. I typically keep the basic feedback on, but if you really wanted to build a rubric, you can use custom feedback and attach a rubric to that video. So once I've got my topic, I create my topic, it's all ready to go. Now I can share the actual Flipgrid code with my students, and I can just take this code and paste it onto Schoology, and students have access to the whole grid. Meaning if I add multiple topics to that grid, they have access to it from this one link. Or if I want them to have access just to that one topic, just to that one topic, then I can just share that topic and share a new link for every topic that I have for the students. It's all up to you as to how you're going to share that. Now, remember that flip code that we were talking about for the students. This is what you would want to share to them. This code of 2F5B F16D. And then I can see this as a student. So that's a discussion. Notice how it's asking me to log in with Google, because remember, I set up the Flipgrid to make sure that I'm logged in with a school email. So it takes a second. Now, if they don't have an SD129 email, they won't be able to access it. And here is my Flipgrid. So I've got my description, and if I want to start recording, I just click on this plus sign and I can start recording. So now you've created your first grid. You're all ready to go. If you've got any questions, you can take a look at our next video or updated videos for Flipgrid, or contact one of your coaches. Have an awesome day, guys.